today we're doing the next part to our M5. And if you watched the last one, she kind of threw us a little curveball. We clipped the video off whenever we noticed there was a bolt missing in the front vanos unit on the passenger side. Now, immediately I thought, well, let's go and put the bolt back in the vanos. Somebody just left it out or vibrated it out or something. So we put it back in, we started the car, and now something's rubbing the case. And a lot of you think, oh, the bolt's too long. It's not that kind of bolt. It goes in and stops in a little hole. So I think what's happened here, and we have a vanos unit here to the side, so I can pick it up without wearing a bunch of oil. Here's the unit. And I believe what we have going on, there's a gasket that goes along the bottom here. I think the gasket's either not in there, which lets it go back too far and it's making something rub, or on the bolts there's little alignment dowels on the front of the head, or one of those is missing and it's cocked a little bit to the side, or something's loose on the vanos units. Although we looked at that, we didn't see anything wrong, but we weren't necessarily looking for that. Like, I don't think any of the bolts, we went back and reviewed the footage, we didn't see anything else wrong at all. So unfortunately, what we're gonna have to do is take it all back apart. We're probably gonna have to take the intakes off, the valve cover off, ionic unit on the front, top of the valve cover. We're also probably gonna have to pull the fan out and the whole top bezel on the striker plate for the hood so we can get to the front to that. What we're gonna do, we're gonna first pull the passenger intake off, passenger valve cover off, and let's see where that ends us up, and maybe that'll get it. Maybe we can see what's going on. But if I do have to take the vanos unit loose and pull it back a little bit to slide another metal gasket in there, we'll do that. I could then also put the little locating dowel if I need that in the front. However, if we have to pull it apart to the point we have to retime it, I do not have timing tools here, something we have not ordered yet for the white car. So let's hope it's not that. So let's get going. So we took the valve cover off, make sure nothing is hurt, nothing is damaged, nothing's rubbing. I can't see anything wrong at all. However, when I tighten this top bolt down that we put in, you can see it all squish in real far. And I did notice, now that we can see down in there a little better, that this bolt here is also missing. So we're missing this one and this one, both. And like, what the hell? There's only 2 bolts holding the vanos in. Did they vibrate out like the oil pump? Maybe somebody hasn't torqued them down right. But so we're at a situation here. I think what we're gonna do is put the bolt in the bottom, tighten that up, because it may be tighten it crooked since they're not all in there. Tighten it all up, nothing's hitting the case. I looked around, all the gears, everything looks fine. I think maybe it could have been putting the vanos in a little bit of a bind since all the bolts weren't in it. But I don't know, man. I mean, it's like, at this point, who knows? The vanos is perfectly lined up, and I can see it does have the gasket in it. So that's not what the problem is. I think we're gonna go and put the second bolt in there, put it up on the lift, crank the crank bolt over, and see what we got. If everything seems fine, we'll put the valve cover back on, put the bare minimum back together just so we could start it and make sure that noise is gone. Because it is something to do with that. We started it, it made the noise. We took the bolt out, started it, did not make the noise. So it's like, what in the hell is even happening? I did look at the other vanos unit with the little mirror on a stick. None of the bolts are missing out of it. Looks like it's never been touched. So somebody's been in this side at some point in time or tried to get in this side, and they very well may have taken the bolts out, figured out you got to take everything else out, and they didn't want to go that far and just stopped. I don't know which it is. We're going to get to the bottom of it right now. All right, guys, so it's obviously the next day. And so what we did here, the valve cover was taken off. I think in the last clip we showed that. It's the next day, I can't remember. Notice there is a second bolt in the front of the vanos unit missing. I think we also told you about that. And we took the valve cover off, nothing was wrong. Everything was great. I put both the bolts back in the vanos unit. We put the valve cover back on only just to be able to start it, and the noise is gone. So it's either put in a bind, or since the valve cover gasket's on it, it couldn't pull in right when we put the bolt in, and it was making it kind of twist and out of whack. We started it twice now. There's no sound at all. It sounds perfectly fine. So I guess at this point, we're just going to put the intake back on. We need to put intake back on, the cowling back in. Probably just put the bare minimum back on, start it again. We got to drop the fan back in. We took the fan out so we could crank it over by hand to make sure it wasn't making any kind of noise. And it was not. I did notice one of the valve cover was off, and I was tightening up the bolts. You could see the whole vanos unit kind of like pull in. So I'm guessing it was cocked at an angle just a little bit to where it was putting that in the bind. But we were fully ready to swap out vanos units, whatever we had to do to make this work. Looks like that's not going to be the case. So at this point, we're going to reassemble. We need to go take it for a drive and make sure everything functions right. Make sure we can go wide open throttle at least for a little bit and no check engine light. And we never drove our new tires yet either, or the alignment. And other than that, the rack and pinion, we cannot buy that little seal where it's got the little bit of a drip at the top where the steering shaft goes in. A new rack and pinion for this thing is anywhere from $1,000 to $2,400 because it's an electronic one. So the story is on the forums is to use a little bit, not a lot, a little bit of the Lucas power steering stop to swell the seals back up. Because we have here is very minimal. Is it worth going through and spending $1,000 or $2,000 on? No, it's not. It's not really. So yeah, we'll do that at a later date. This car is very, very close. The windshield does have a crack in it. We don't have a windshield guy anymore. This car very well may get sold with that, but we're going to sell it at a price that's so far under what another manual is selling for. That shouldn't be an issue. And a lot of you guys mentioned to me that it's not an issue. A lot of the guys are interested in buying it. We're just trying to get all the bugs out of it, get 100% before we can finally email our list of people back saying, yes, okay, we're ready to go. Do you want this? Go down next in line, next in line, next in line. And the line's pretty large. So if you guys are watching this and you are interested in this car, this is a 06 manual 6-speed M5 with the V10 with 121,000 miles on it. At this point in time now, all the maintenance has been done, everything. So let's throw it back together. Let's make sure everything functions correctly. And let's also see if our RDC or wheel sensor comes back online. If not, we may have to wrestle with that. All right, guys, so here we are. You know, we took the valve cover off, put all the bolts back in the valves, put it back on. The noise is gone. I don't know if the valve cover being on it was keeping that from bolting in all the way. Let's start bolting in. Kind of a weird deal, but it sounds just like the other side. There's no difference at all. You can hear electric fan a little bit on it. We just drove the car. It's probably one of the best driving BMWs I've ever been in because it drives like a 6-cylinder. When you don't want the power, you're just babying around town. It's quiet, it's smooth. The way the power comes in, it drives like a 6-cylinder. Then when you want the power, you rev it past 4 and then you have all the power you want. It really is a very nice setup. Now with the SMG box, these cars are real radical because they're blipping the throttle for you when you're coming down and you don't really have full control of it. But with the 6-speed, you're in full control. So you're always in the right gear. It's just a very mild car driving around normally. I would think you'd be able to get a lot better fuel economy in this because SMG, you know how it is. It's just wild because the computer is doing all the shifting for you. And this thing is just so, I don't know, like even Philip said, it drives like a normal car. It's not crazy wild. Obviously, if you did the muffler delete and whatever tune to it, it would be if you want it. But everything corners well, the tires, everything seems like it's very, very good. So at this point in time, like we just talked about, the crack in the windshield, we may leave that. The car has not been cleaned. We have not cleaned this car since we got it. That's going to be the next step. We need to scrub the wheels. We need to go through and clean everything on it. Just a mild wipe down at the inside. Michael kept it very clean. Whatever dirt's on it is just a little bit of road dirt from coming back, from getting it, and a little bit of dust, really. AC blows cold, everything works and functions correctly. Like I said, all the guys are telling me in the comments on the forums also, just put a little bit of the Lucas stop leak, the conditioner in the power steering. It's not worth going through all that. It's such a minute amount, it's dripping. I can't see spending $1,000 or $2,000 to replace that. And we can't seem to find the seal for it. Usually that's what you do on the E60 is put a new seal in. This is electronic steering, so we can't exactly find that. But that should be it. I mean, there should be no more issues with this car at all. It's been a long adventure, but we could pretty much call this car done at this point. I mean, we're probably, what, 30, 40 minutes and good wipe down, wash and wipe down. You know, I really can't, it was kind of a pain in the ass, but it wasn't that bad. There was nothing that was that bad on this. And that's what I like about these cars with no turbo. That it's complicated, but it's nothing you can't work through as long as you do the research on it and that kind of thing. But yeah, we'll put the email in the description if somebody's interested in it. We already have a lot of people to call on this car. We'll be asking probably $22K for it. The other ones, this is prior salvage car. The other ones are 3840 that are 6-speed, Interlagos blue, black interior, the best of the best of everything. We didn't think I had the power bolsters on it, the active bolsters, but it does because they work. Just the button's not on the dash. I don't know why that is. It's 07, maybe they changed that in 07 from 06. I don't know. The only option this one does not have is the cooled seats or the ventilated seats. Has everything else. Everything works. Everything's great. That's it. That's gonna be it today, guys, for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll be back another one very soon. See you later.